Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
First of all, let us say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala that who has given us a mercy and blessing to meet in online learning today in a good condition. And then the honorable our lecturer of English literature, Mr. Henry Saputra, Magister of Education, and all of our beloved friends.
We are from group 7.
We are going to discuss about teaching literature through the drama. But before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Ade Bunga Izzati.
Ria Marlinda.
I'm Tasya Syaputri.
My name is Adelya Endang Widyastuti.
And okay, the first material will be explained by Ria Marlinda. For Ria Marlinda, time and place are yours.
Today I would like to explain about teaching literature through drama. The use of dramatic techniques to teach literature can be increase student response. Teach both of literature and drama. The use of such techniques may be a natural class of curriculum of literature curriculum. So, drama definition in literature. Drama definition in literature is a type of literature that is written for the purpose of being performed in the front of an audience. This type of writing is written in the form of a script, and the story is told through the lines of characters played by actors. Teaching literature through drama is talking about beginning group exercise. Beginning group exercise is a good way of introducing dramatic activity in a relatively risk-free environment. The purpose of beginning group exercise are to help students relax and feel confident about what they are doing. Students can get warm up, have fun, and learn to concentrate of their energy in theatrical context. And then dialogue activities. Dialogue activities can be used to help students learn to infer the meaning of characters, dialogue in plays, short stories, novels, or dramatic poems. Teachers and students should realize that the written play is not really play. It is a script. A play includes actors, sets, prompts, likes, and an audience.
Okay, I will continue the next material. It's about drama activities in understanding conflict. So what is conflict? Conflict is a backbone of stories and the basic elements of most plays. In understanding conflict, we also requires understanding of the social and understanding cultural convention operation. For understanding social, it means that we have to know the conflict from the social situation in a real life. And for understanding cultural convention operation, it means that we also have to know the cultural situation from the conflict. So both of the situation, both of them given in the same situation, and it is also related. And in understanding conflict in drama, we also need improvisation. And improvisation focus on how how we create the conflict from differences behavior in different situation with different group of people. And it also focus on how violation of convention create the conflict. And in teaching literature through drama activities, especially for understanding the conflict, there are some activities that can be given from the teacher to the student to help them understanding the conflict. The first one is game activities. From game, students give opportunities to explore relationship in the social situation, and by the game, students can express their action from understanding conflict in the story. And the next is conflicts in perspective. It is the situation for students to express their differences in understanding conflict from their own point of view. And the last is party. The party is the situation for students to give their totality in drama for understanding conflict. Okay, we go to the next material. It's about role playing in short story situation. So what is role playing? Role playing is an action to express improvisation in the story. So the purpose of role playing is to gain insight into the motivation for characters' actions. And in role playing, sometimes students have difficulties in choosing appropriate ending. But there is also some activities that can help students understand drama through role playing. For example, by demonstrating the story or acting as one of the characters in the story and play the story like in the real life. So it can help students to understand drama through role playing. I think that's all about my explanation, and the next material will be continued by my friend.
Well, the next material will be handled by me, and the next material is about using playwriting to teach literature. Just a student may short story or poetry to come a fuller understanding of these genres. And so students can write short play to come a fuller understanding of dramatic dialogue. And then students could begin to plan improvisations around a specific conflict or character trait. Next, for the playwriting project, the entire class could convert a novel to plays. Adolescent novels are very particularly well suited for adaptations because there are filled dialogue, actions, and familiar themes. And adolescent novels are same age as the member of the class. Next, I will explain you about the responding to drama. While the activities we have already discussed should help students articulate their responses to fictions, and they will be also useful in encouraging students to respond more fully to plays. And to some degree, reading drama requires in somewhat different focus than reading prose fictions. I have the example from this. Susan give the students segment of novel, and then Susan give the same period, but only the include of the dialogue. And you know that in responding to drama, that loose meaning must be supplied by reader. And to help students articulate their responses, teachers can respond activities based on the first perspective. And the first is the textual perspective, social perspective, and then cultural perspective, and the last a topical perspective. I will explain you one by one about the perspective. Textual perspective. Students could view the video, the entire two plays, or single scenes. And in responding to dialogue, students could describe not only what the characters saying, but also what the characters are doing, and considers characters' motive for behaving as they do. Okay, and the second perspective is the social perspective. In responding to social perspective, students could discuss their own emotional reaction that the characters and attempt to locate the source of that reactions. Okay, I think that's all for my explanation, and the next presentation will be handled by
Ade Bunga Izzati. I'm going to explain the next material. There are 4 perspectives, and Tasya has already explained about textual perspective and then social perspective. Now I'm going to explain about cultural perspective and topical perspective. Okay, first is cultural perspective. Students could also examine the really beef and happy as a shaped by a culture's forces and the values. To help them divine the values is focus on the opposition in the play. And the next is topical perspective. Topical perspective is student could approach the play, the scene and the play as a whole in a cultural perspective. Next material is responding to Shakespeare's play. Responding to Shakespeare's play become a common practice for a teacher to have a students to read a script from the Shakespeare play and have a simple discussion. And there are some elements to make reading Shakespeare plays a little more theatrical, and here are relatively simply the suggestion. Okay, first is when introducing Shakespeare to students for the first time, we must to go slowly. Why? Because sometimes the student couldn't understand the language from the Shakespeare script. So we must to read it aloud and go slowly to make them more comprehend with this script. And then second is if the production of introduce students, and second introduce students to William Shakespeare. We must to give a knowledge to them that William Shakespeare are a real human, not only in the TV or just in imagination from the author. So, and then third is if a production of Shakespeare play come to your community, we must to ask our student to see it because it's very big chance to us to introduce the Shakespeare to our student. And then if the Shakespeare not come to our community, we must to give a video to them to give them know who is the Shakespeare. And then fourth is read the famous lines and monologues from Shakespeare for your student. And then fifth is students could also perform scenes from the Shakespeare plays, particularly scenes with a large cast and a lot of quick dialogue action. And the last is teachers should ask questions to the student. After read a Shakespeare script, we as a teacher we must to give a question. What is the moral value? Maybe the character or so. That's all for our explanation in online learning today. Let's continue our discussion to the Google Classroom. Thank you for your great attention and your great participation. Sorry for my mistake.
Still stay at home,
Stay safe, stay healthy, and last say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.